What's going on, guys? What's going on, Burgundy Ballers? Welcome back to the Ballin in Burgundy podcast. For those who don't know, first of all, if you want to support, don't forget to hit like and subscribe down at the bottom. Helps help the boys out here at B.I.B. Second of all, I am one of your two co-hosts at JohnDowdPro_10. If you guys don't know, Justin, who's my normal co-host, he's a firefighter here in Virginia. He's obviously away doing firefighter things, so just prayers up for him. Put the twos in the chat for him. And just keep him in your prayers, y'all. But I got the newest member of the B.I.B. family, not even team, family here at Ballin and Burgundy. Not like it's gonna help me on the graphic side, help me, host like he is today. But it's an all-around great dude, Commanders fan. My boy Andrew here. So Andrew, welcome to the team. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. Super happy. This is gonna be tons of fun. So yeah, super excited.
It's gonna be lots of fun. It's gonna be lots of interesting topics. If you guys caught last episode, I had my boy Tony on here at ProTech Sports Network. We did a free agency mock draft. We did a free agency simulator. For y'all who will follow us on Instagram, y'all are going crazy in that comment section about our wild trade that we made with the Colts. Now, yes, it was a wild trade, but me and Tony pre-stream and in the stream, if you guys watch it, said, hey, we're going to do something really, really big controversial here. And we did it. Now, if y'all could tone down the language over there, saying, we hang around some trees, relax on those, but we love the enthusiasm, we love the comments. Bring it over here on YouTube, hit like and subscribe, comment down below, and just I love that energy. Keep bringing it. Watch the wording, but that's all I got to say. Today, we're gonna do something similar. We're gonna hit a mock draft. We use a different website because my account's not working like it normally does. But we're also gonna hit up with what our Chase Young's fifth-year option might look like, if we shouldn't, and then what Ron Rivera said about heading into the 2024 NFL season, about who will be our QB1 and going into the offseason and what we might address. Let's get into it. Let's start off with what Ron had to say. Ron Rivera was asked today, a part of Super Bowl media weekend, a part of everything, about who will be most likely heading into the offseason as our quarterback. Now, obviously, Carson didn't pan out. Kind of expected that, kind of didn't expect that. So it is what it is. Heineke went 5-3-1, which for him, I'm okay with. I like that. People obviously can say, it wasn't, what we thought he was going to be. Thought it could be better. But he's a backup for a reason. And he did great for us. And then we draft Sam, 5th round in the 2022 NFL draft out of the University of North Carolina, UNC. Showed great flashes in the preseason and showed up at the Dallas game, Week 18. We won 26-6. He threw about 19 passes, completed about 13 of them, about 150 yards, touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and an interception, which I'm okay with. He's a rookie, new offense. That's okay. What Ron had to say going into this NFL season, which was what I expected, he was obviously asked, what's going to happen. He said going in, Howell will start as number one, but it's something he has to continue to earn and show us he deserves to be that guy. Again, I agree. I think it's like the Brock Purdy situation. It's his job to lose, but he will be the perennial number one going into the offseason. Now, offensive line will need work on. We're going to lose some pieces in offense. We're going to add some pieces in the draft in the offseason. I agree with Ron. I think he's going to have to earn it, but from what I've seen so far, he's going to be the number one going forward. If he fails this season, then maybe new owner, new head coach, whatever happens, we'll get a new quarterback maybe. If not, if he shows up, let's say wins us 9 games, goes 25 for 12, interception to touchdown ratio, or tutty to interception ratio, I would be mad at that. Your first rookie season, new OC, new offense, I wouldn't be mad at that. What do you think?
I'd be very happy with it. Obviously, still getting used to probably a new system, assuming will have a new offensive coordinator, new personnel, probably a patched up O-line, stuff like that. Obviously, rookies can take time to develop. We saw that this year with Trevor Lawrence, right? First year, man, honestly horrendous, but he came back this year with a new coach, and proved that he still was developing. If I'd say even going positive record-wise touchdown interception wise. I'd see that as a plus for me. Yeah, excited to see what he could do. So it's exciting. Have a rookie quarterback with potential, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There was a stat saying that if he goes in as number one, it'd be the first time since I think RG3 that we started rookie quarterback for watching, which is a lot. That's that's Kirk Cousins, that's Carson, that's Taylor, that's Ryan Fitzpatrick, that's a whole host of guys. To start out Sam week one, NFL season 2023, I think it's gonna bring, hey, I'm in the NFL, this is what it's gonna feel like. Really hit him. But I think we patch up the offensive line. We get him, a really good tight end. I think Logan Thomas is out the door. We'll address that a little bit later. Get him in a really good number one, a good tight end. You have Bates, you have Turner, you have Rodgers. You have like 4 tight ends on rotation who are really good. Bates is really good at blocking. Cole Turner's going to be a good pass catcher. Mario Rodgers, I think 6'6", is massive, and he's got good hands from what I've seen. Just use them in effect, and you'll probably draft one eventually anyways, if not the 3rd round at minimum, maybe later on. There's a pretty good tight end class. I'll give him credit.
Yeah.
But I think if Sam, like we were saying, get a positive record, about a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, a little over maybe 3,900 yards, just because I know we'll run the ball with B.I.B. and maybe Gibson, maybe it's B.I.B and someone else, who knows. But I think Sam going forward should be the number one. If he goes into this offseason and just dives for whatever reason, his arm is messed up, he's not learning the offense, then maybe do we draft it this draft? Do we grab a veteran, like a Jimmy G? You re-sign Taylor for the year? What do you do with that rate? But I think what Sam has shown against the Dallas defense, who's Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, DeMarcus Lawrence, top 5 defense in this league, and you put up, at least on his side, Lily, you run and throw, you put up 12 points right there. That's one a little something that, hey, you got talent to be here. It's got to go out and earn it physically, mentally.
Another positive I'd sort of like to have in the picture, putting him mentally, I'd say, in a state where he can see himself as our QB1. That's honestly something I feel like would be a great benefit. Getting those QB1 reps with that mentality, this job is mine, and I'm here to help this team out, and I'm going to be the starter for next year. That's there's nothing bad about that. That's only going to help his mentality and his progression as our quarterback too. So that's obviously something to look at as well, which I appreciate.
I definitely agree. Have, like you said, that mentality being, hey, this is my team going forward. It's like what Taylor had last season. Brian goes down, Taylor comes in, and now all of a sudden, hey, Taylor, this is your team. You go 7-10, but Taylor said, hey, this is my team. They're gonna fight for him. I think they're gonna fight for Sam. If you bring in someone like a Jacoby Brissett, you bring in someone like a Gardner Minshew, bring Taylor back. Those aren't guys who are going to be threats to his position. I've seen a lot of news about, hey, do we bring in Jimmy G? Do we trade for Derek Carr? Do we try to go for Lamar and A-Rod experience? Because that doesn't happen. If you bring guys like that, that's a threat to Sam, saying, hey, I like this veteran quarterback who's not welcome on his team anymore. Let's bring him over to us. And you coddle him, it's sending the wrong message. If you say, hey, Jacoby, can you be here for 2 years? I'll give you about $10 million. Can you help just coach Sam?
Right.
And say, hey, this is your team. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you with your arm, your legs, whatever, as long as coaching. But this is your team. And Terry's going to, say, hey, this is your team. B-Rob's going to say, hey, I support you. Offensive line's going to want to fight for him.
Rally around him, yeah.
Morality is just going to be crazy. Yeah. I think if we get someone like the Eric Bieniemy back there, he'll have fun with Sam. He might not agree with Sam being the quarterback now. He might want to draft next year, depending on how he feels. But even if Eric says, hey, let's stick with Sam for this year, we'll reassess next year. I'd be pressed next year saying, hey, now we're going into the offseason looking for another quarterback. And then do we trade up for like Caleb Williams? Do we get Drake May out of the same school? you know, Penix Jr. out of Washington next year, you know, guys like that? Or do you say, hey, Sam looks really good. Let's build on him. Let's get him a number two. Well, number two is your going to be. But I think I believe in Sam. I think he's shown me a lot of good stuff. Just, you know, just got to work on being, you know, your mentality, your rookie, just rookiness. Just saying, hey, okay, second year in the league, I got to sit behind Taylor and Carson, who are pretty good mentors. I think Taylor was really good with Sam and said, you know, hey, they're going to throw me into this Dallas game. Let Sam have the start. I think it was the right call.
Both of them are such great mentors for him. I mean,
Yeah.
Carson being a veteran who's experienced 3 different teams, different roles on those teams. Just an experienced player. And then Heineke being the super, just genuinely like great guy to be around and someone that you would want to I'm not going to put it that way, but he's somebody that you would be okay having in front of them, right?
Yeah, he's someone who, as morale, as just a player and a person you want in your locker room. He encourages the guys. I mean, like I said, they're going to start Taylor, you know, the week 18 game. He said, hey, give Sam the start. Do we bring him back? Do we not? That's the real big question going into this offseason is what do you do with Taylor? Carson giving Sam's, you know, family the booth, you know, putting them up in the suite saying, hey, this is your start. Go with him. I thought it was really nice. I think just being a team guy is gonna help, and surrounding him with guys who's gonna reinforce, hey, build on this year and let's go win us, you know, 10 games, go win us a playoff game, go win us a Lombardi, whatever it is, just keep that encouragement going. But I'm here for it. I think it's gonna be an uphill battle for not just who was the OC, but for Sam, because Dan's gonna be gone by draft.
Yeah.
If Dan in a couple of weeks, even if we get to St. Patrick's Day, which is what, like the middle of March, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
About that, if he's not gone by then I'm not having hope. But if he's gone by, let's say, if he's gone by St. Patrick's Day, all right. Now who do you have backing up Sam? Who's going to help him transition through ownership even? Because coaching is one thing, you can kind of get away with that. I don't know many quarterbacks who's gone through big ownership. I mean, Russ did it in Denver, but it's because he was traded there.
Yeah.
There's no one really being a new owner. I mean, Carolina's a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would bring Taylor back, give him another 2 year, give him the exact same deal. 2 years, $8 million, 4 guaranteed. Just help him with the transition. I'll be being at ODU here. It's a little bit of bias, but I'm seeing people like, you know, Taylor is awful. He didn't show us anything. Get him out of there. I'm like, Taylor's a backup for a reason. He embraced the backup role. Was there communication differences? Yeah, but Taylor's not going to be the main reason you will lose a game.
Could I jump into that real quick?
Yo, go right ahead. Ahead.
Taylor seriously is, in my opinion, the best backup quarterback in the NFL. Like he is a low grade starter, right? He's not going to make us a Super Bowl run, of course. I love the guy. But I feel like we also need to be smart for if we are going to re-sign him. We cannot re-sign him to any starter money. What is he asking for? Like wasn't it like 17 million or something?
Based on what projections for his market's gonna be, it's like 17 million, which is wild.
Yeah.
But when you have teams like Carolina, Houston, Indianapolis, Atlanta, I mean, he might get the money if he goes somewhere else.
That just depends on what other teams feel about him and what they need, right?
Exactly.
But if he is going to be someone that is under Sam Howell, I'm not willing to put towards starter money. I love him. No. I want him on our team. I want him to be our backup quarterback for years to come. Having someone like him with that kind of story, like, you know, being on the couch of his sister's house or something.
Being on his sister's couch.
Called up to play against Tom Brady in the playoff, his famous pylon dive, all that stuff. It's amazing. I love him.
It's great.
But again, with our cap space situation, which isn't awful, right? But we're still going to want to make room for whether it's Payne,
Yep, Curl you're gonna have next year.
He's crucial. We just need to be smart about for how much we are resigning him for if he's going to be underneath Sam Howell. Yeah.
Yep. I agree. His contract is gonna be less than $10 million a year if he stays, which I don't think he's gonna say no to. You're in the same organization since 2020, so you have stability there. The locker room fight for Taylor, which they'll fight for Sam. If Taylor says this is the number one, you're familiar with the culture, you're familiar with the stadium, you're familiar with the coaching, you're familiar with, jumping from organizations, right. XFL, Houston, New England, Minnesota, Carolina, Washington.
Yeah.
He's there for a reason. If they get rid of him, I'm not going to say, oh, this is the best option possible. But if they sign him for anything more than $10 million, I'll be like,
questionable. Yeah.
It's going to be questionable.
Yeah, for sure.
Because do you pay Ron? First of all, do you keep Logan Thomas? Do you keep Curtis Samuel? Do you keep Norwell and Trey Turner? I mean, there's going to be a lot of questions. And who do you target? You're going to cut Carson regardless. There's 26 mil right there. Yeah. But then are you going to target offensive line? You're going to target corners, linebackers, tight ends, receiver number 4, because we're going to need a new punt returner because Daxton ain't it.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
What do you do with Gibson? I mean, there's going to be a lot. But I'm glad you brought up the cap space hit. I'm glad you brought up the money. That transitions right into the second part of today's topics is Chase Young's 5th-year option is questionable. Now, I don't disagree. I don't agree either. Ron Rivera says he's undecided on whether or not we're going to pick up his 5th-year option. Now, we all know what happened to Chase, right? 2022 season, he gets an ACL injury, halfway through the year, and then he's out this entire year except the last 3 games with no production. It's 2 tackles for loss and an assist. Nothing for this year for over a season. Now, you could put argument that he re-injured himself at the Von Miller camp last offseason, which, there's basis for that argument. You don't rush down the offseason if you're not doing rehab. But it's a $17 million 5th-year option. That's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money. Yeah. That right now, that would be half, if not all of our cap space if we picked it up. Yeah. Would be his 5th-year option alone. What? I don't want to say he doesn't bring anything to the field because coming out of college, he was the best player outside of Joe Burr in that 2020 draft class. Mm-hmm. But you're coming off a torn ACL and the patella tendon. He tweaks that too on top of the ACL. Is he worth it? Because you're going to have to pay Sweat. You're going to have to pay Curl. You're going to have to pay a lot of guys. Yeah. And you have Montez Sweat who's getting 8-9 sacks a season. He's just not finishing all that well, but he can work on that. Do you keep Chase or do you, let's say, trade him, get a third out of him, and you rebuild?
Obviously, it's expensive, right? $17 million is not a little amount of money.
No.
But here's how I look at it. Someone who won Offensive Rookie of the Year, right? And who's brought so much
defensive, but yes,
leadership to our team, I'd say, even while being injured and everything. We have not seen enough of him to say, no, we are not going to resign you because you haven't done enough. He could come back and have a career season, be better than his rookie season.
His rookie year. He could.
No. And that's the exact reason why I think we almost have to. And I understand that money would hurt, but we need to work around that when we have someone like Chase Young who's either coming back to the team or is not.
That's fair. I like that. Just pulling up his stats wise, in 2021, he had a sack and a half in the 8 games he played before he got injured. 7.5 his rookie season, which it was COVID years, so we're picking for straws in that year's awards. But 8 games for 1.5 sacks is not a lot. No, it's not a lot to give me enough faith. Now, if, like you said, if he comes back next year and racks up 10 sacks, 11 sacks, then there's serious conversation to be like, all right, do you keep him and Sweat, who, if healthy and, technique, because they're both still very raw. Let's not kid ourselves. They are very raw. Montez can get to the quarterback. He just can't finish. Chase has great feet. He has no hands.
Yeah.
He does a lot of this, and that's it.
Yeah.
Look at someone like a Nick Bosa, who went in the exact same position the year prior. As of recording tonight, guys, we're recording on Thursday night because we don't want to get you guys out Friday. Nick Bosa just won Defensive Player of the Year, 18 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
That in the what was it, because it's a regular season award. 16 sacks in the regular season, 2.5 in the playoffs. From the same school, for the same position, at about the same height too. Now, does it help that Joey Bosa is your brother? Yes. But you had the same coaches at Ohio State. You were playing the same position. You were teammates. And Nick, if I had to draft between Nick Bosa and Chase Young at their peak, I'd probably take Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, they both have their injury concerns, but Nick Bosa looks like a finished product. Chase is so raw.
Right.
So I mean, I agree. We don't know enough. If next year he comes out and gets 5 sacks, a few tackles for loss, then you say do you take the $10 million cap hit for cutting him, because there will be a cap hit, or do you still let him go, not pick up the 5th year, but then you re-sign him during the offseason for probably a little bit less? There's a ways around it. That's probably what the Raiders are going to do with Josh Jacobs, is not pick up their 5th year, but there'll be a way for him. I don't see Josh Jacobs not leaving Vegas. There's no way he doesn't. So it's going to be a financial situation, and I agree with you. Leadership, the morale, and just being a team guy. Chase is our defensive Taylor Heineke, just good for the locker room, a great guy to be around, very approachable. But do you bring him back? He's the question mark right now. And I don't know. I would want to if it wasn't such a big cap hit either. That's quarterback money. Good.
Are you more on the no side?
I'm financially, I'm on the no side, because $17.5 million is quarterback money. That is a lot of money. But I agree with what you said, is we haven't seen enough of him. He re-injured himself in the offseason. He's going through rehab again. I'm sure he'll go through rehab this offseason. Just get that knee 100%, get the patella back to what it used to be. And during the offseason, the preseason, I want to see him play, because preseason games don't mean anything. But if they put him in, let's say, preseason game number 2, and he comes up with 2.5 sacks, okay. Yes, it's a second, third string offensive line, but okay.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. It's something new we haven't seen before. 2.5 sacks is a lot for one game.
Right.
And then maybe, okay, let's get through half a season and see what he says. If we get to week 9 and he has 7 sacks, I'd be okay with that. I'd be real. That's more than what he had the past 2 years, really combined. But if we get to week 9 and he has 3 sacks, I'm gonna have some cause to pause.
Yeah. I'd agree with you there.
Yeah. So I mean, I could go either way. I'm gonna say no, only because I agree. We haven't seen much of him, and the cap hit's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
Now, if we re-sign him for, let's say, $10 million a year for 3 years, you pick up Sweat, switch Sweat's 5th year, and you go the same way, then okay. You have 3 years to build this up, and you have 3 years to prepare the future. Let's see what they can do. If we don't re-sign him, and then he goes to another team and bombs, then we won't feel as bad. If he goes to another team and puts up 18.5 sacks in the season, I'll be able to what happened here?
Yeah.
What did we do? Yeah. I don't know. It's very wishy-washy.
For sure.
Ballers, hold up. We got a few sponsors we need to personally thank for here at Ballin and Burgundy. First, our guy Washington on the Daily Bulldog Instagram and YouTube. Huge sponsor. We want to give our massive thanks out to them. You go follow Washington on the Daily, both on Instagram and on Twitter, WSH on the Daily. Our guy Tony, who's Pro Tech Sports Network. Huge thanks to him. I met up with him at the Commanders Vikings game. Huge thanks to him. Our guy Sanchez at On the Warpath podcast over on YouTube and on Instagram. And then finally, our guy Rio Robinson, Mr. Rambling with Rio himself, our new sponsor, and a huge thanks to him. Met up with him at the Vikings Commanders game as well. Said thank you to him. Again, huge thanks. So again, all of their Instagrams and YouTubes are going to be down in the description. You guys go follow all of them. And again, one big thank you to Rio, Tony, Sanchez, Washington on the Daily for being sponsors of not only today's video, but Ballin and Burgundy as a podcast. Get back to work.
And now we return you to our regular scheduled program.
We have come to I'm going to call the third act of today's episode is a mock draft. This is Chase Young. This is not the mock draft. Mock draft is up here. Now, guys, we're using Pro Football Focus. We generally use here at B.I.B. We normally use fanspeak.com for the Ultimate GM. We can get the free agency. We can get the picks. For whatever reason, my account is just not working with their authentication process. I've reset my password. I've reset the account. I don't know what's happening. So we are here on pff.com. We can still trade players. We can still trade picks. I just can't do free agency. But if we look here, and I will zoom in a little bit, we have first, a second, a third, a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So we're about to pick every draft. So do you want to stay at 16? Do you want to try to trade back? Do you want to try to trade somebody? I mean, we could trade. Well, Durante's not even up here because he's going to be the free agent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who here you might want to trade. You might want to do something with.
In your mock draft, you traded Gibby, right?
So last episode, we traded Gibby, Fuller, and Logan Thomas, and you guys ate it up. Mm-hmm. We loved it. You guys ate it up a lot. I mean, guys like Charles Leno, Norwell, guys like that, I might trade just because they weren't all that good.
Right.
Fuller,
Norwell
I keep
is someone that I'd say you could definitely consider and make a case for. He's somebody that didn't do a whole lot for us this last year.
No,
we had hoped that he would.
Yep.
But he is not someone I would mind trading. Yeah.
Let's see. Who needs a guard? So if we just look at the columns here, and I'll zoom in for you guys so you guys can see a little bit. So who needs a guard is Arizona, Seattle, Philly, which is interesting, but I don't hate that. Mm-hmm. Us, the Bucks, the Seahawks again, the Jags, the Bills, and the Eagles. I want to see. I mean, he came from He came from Jacksonville, but I don't believe so. I wouldn't trade him back. But someone like Tampa Bay, who might be able to give up like a fifth for him to something light, because it's going to be his cap hit, and it's just not going to be a lot. So like a fifth if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Because a fifth, that's a fourth, that's a third. So fourth or fifth.
I'd go with the fifth probably, but
that 155. So I'll give it a little bit of the back end.
Mm-hmm.
And they took it.
Awesome.
I mean, I would too. You give up a fifth round pick. It's nothing gonna knock your socks off about, but it's something that needs some help. And let's put us back over here. I'm gonna put us right up here so we can all see this. These guys, what is going on here? Put us over here. We'll put us in this corner. There we go. I don't know why my thing's being like that. There we go. So it's Joey Sly. I think we can draft a kicker for cheaper. Joey Sly was good, not great, missing field goals like that. So I'd probably draft a kicker like the 7th round. What do you think? I
felt super confident in him this year. Obviously, he's got some range.
Yep.
He can make big kicks. He can, but that doesn't mean he always does. I was not super confident with him. Yeah.
Nope. he made like the 58-yard field goals in Philly, but he would miss like the 20-something field goals against like
Inconsistent is probably the word to sum him up. Yeah.
he was consistently inconsistent.
Yeah.
To shout out to the Chisel Adonis who we had on here. First episode, consistently inconsistent, as he says, for Cody Pocky. We'll probably just cut him if anything, because he's not making much money. Edge, Shaka Tony I would keep Shaka Tony there. I keep Ridgeway. You keep Mathis. You draft Mathis. You keep him for a reason. Safety, I'm fine with. Roulier might go. I think Charles Leno has to go. His cap hit is going to be something hard. Someone like the Steelers, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Jets, the Titans. I mean, the Titans might take him. They need all the help they can get. Wait, they don't have much draft picks though. What would I say? The Jets?
Sure. Yeah.
It's going to be another late round pick.
Yeah, he's not going to be very high up either.
He won't. If we can get like 74, so 112 is going to be probably the best, and that's I think a fourth.
Sure. Yeah.
So why not? Let me get a fourth round for him. I don't hate it. So we have a little bit of cannon fodder if we wanted to make a big trade. Do you want to stick at six? I'm gonna let you kind of control this draft. Do you want to stay at 16? Do you want to trade back? Do you want to trade up? How do you feel?
Yeah, here's what I like. I did like a super quick draft today.
Yeah.
I like staying at 16.
Okay.
Unless Christian Gonzalez or Joey Porter Jr. are taken. I've seen lately that Witherspoon is being sort of dropped a little bit. I thought he was sort of mid-round, but I've seen him being taken like 20, a little bit higher. Is that right?
Yeah, I think Witherspoon will go anywhere from 15 to 25. That's going to be his range, if not even higher.
That's a kind of large range to gamble and trade back on. So I'd say stay at 16. Yeah.
Stay at 16?
Yeah.
I like that. I only say because you have Pittsburgh and Detroit back-to-back who need corners.
Right.
You have LA, and you have 5 teams within that 10 pick range who all need corners.
Yeah.
So that's why I say 15. You start off with Green Bay. You have us, Pittsburgh, Detroit, LA, Baltimore, Minnesota. So that's actually 6 within 10.
Right.
But I like that. I like staying at 16. Because I think Chicago will go D-line. They'll go quarterback. They'll go 4 quarterbacks will go in the top 10 guaranteed. I think that's a guarantee by now. Young, Stroud, Levi, Richardson. I think those are the 4 quarterbacks who go. You can make a case for.
10, you think?
I think all top 10.
Okay. All right.
Well, before we draft, that's why I say this. Houston will go Bryce Young, number 1 overall. I think it's going to be the talent. I think it's going to be just best overall. The Colts will go CJ Stroud or Will Levi. I think they're going to go towards Will Levi because Chris Ballard, like Pat McAfee says, Chris Ballard loves project, high upside quarterbacks. It's why you got Andrew Luck. That's why you brought in Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
If that happens, Detroit will take CJ Stroud. Jared Goff is not your future. You want to build it. You pair him with Monroe St. Brown, pair him with
or even develop him for a year and put Jared Goff behind it for a year. Because, I mean, he finished the year really strong. So
he did finish the year really strong, but Detroit will need to build up their future.
Eventually, yeah, definitely.
Vegas, if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, will draft a quarterback. And I think that's where someone like Richardson will come in. If that doesn't happen, then it will be Carolina who drafts Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
So there's 4 right there. But I could be dead wrong. I just based on a lot of mock drafts I've seen and how a lot of seasons have gone, that's what happens. Because Atlanta right now will probably write out Desmond Ridder till next year and then find out what happens.
Right.
Seattle will re-sign Geno. They have Kyler. They have Justin Fields, unless something massive happens and Justin Fields gets traded.
About, right?
It has been talked about. Wildly, it has.
You never know.
You never do know. But let's get this. I'm gonna just decrease the speed a little bit so let me kind of get a feel for who's still left on the board. So let's get these guys back to number 1 and let's start this draft. Carter, CJ Stroud goes first. Will Levi, there he goes. Richardson, so my 4 was right. Gonzalez is gone.
Darn.
I think Joey Porter is still on the board.
Okay. Is there Witherspoon?
Witherspoon. Did he already go? Let's see. Jalen Carter. So CJ Stroud going second overall, first quarterback off the board's big. Bryce Young, that's not a bad pick. Tyler Wilson, Brian Breeze, Will Levi to Vegas. There you go.
Okay.
Paris Johnson, Anthony Richardson. Okay. Anderson Jr., that's a big fall from top 3 to 10.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not so sure he'll actually go down that far, but
I think he'll probably fall to Arizona if that happens that far. Yeah, Witherspoon was the first one off the board at Tennessee, then Gonzalez to Houston. So Gonzalez and Derek Stingley Jr.
So I like Joey Porter. Here, let me pull up my Mahomes wins NFL MVP. There we go.
Doesn't shock me.
Then here we go. Here's my list. Joey Porter Jr., good wingspan, 6'2", 198. Good pass defense, run tackler, fluid, quick player, physical, competitive. Not as good on screen plays. I would say I'd probably go with Joey Porter Jr. because you're going to want a younger corner after sort of Fuller's gone, or if he doesn't do as well. I would say he's a probably pretty good pick there. Yeah.
Yep, I definitely agree. It's going to be him, Gonzalez, or Witherspoon, I think, for us grab. Unless we go super wild and we go offensive line, I think corner is your biggest option. So to finish out the first round, we go there. I'm going to do this for the first round, just kind of see who falls. Brian Branch, that's big. Quentin Johnson. So Quentin Johnson and Amon St. Brown, that's big. Michael Myers to Tampa Bay is interesting, but I don't hate it. Nolan Smith, obviously the Dolphins have no picks because of the whole owner situation.
Stuff, yeah.
Bijan Robinson to the Chargers. So Bijan and Austin Eckler is real interesting.
That's deadly. Yeah.
That is deadly. Jackson Smith and Najigba to Baltimore. So he's going to be the number one. Addison to the Vikings. So Addison and Jay Jettas. I like that a lot. Cam Smith to the Jags. Broderick Jones. So they're really building an offensive line there. Dallas goes another offensive lineman in the draft. Safety, Antonio Johnson to the Bills. Saika Ika, probably mispronounced that, from Baylor to the Bengals. That's probably pretty good. Tanner McGee to the Saints. So 6 quarterbacks in the first round is real interesting.
Is that above is that going to be is he above Hooker?
He's above Hendon Hooker. He's above, Duggan.
Yeah.
It's only because Hooker has an ACL injury, but if Hooker doesn't get injured, he's top 10 material.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Osiris Torrance out of the Gators to Kansas City, that makes sense. And then Trenton Simpson from Clemson to the Eagles. So not a bad first round, a few question marks, but I don't hate it. Second round starts off with edge to Chicago to Pittsburgh and tight end to the Texans. Let's see where this keeps going. Another tight end, edge, receiver. Eli Ricks falls a little bit. Darnell Wright.
Right. Yeah.
So Forbes goes. Yeah. I like that. So it says we need quarterback, guard, center, and linebacker. So the best inside offensive lineman.
On him too. Yeah.
Let's see. John Michael Schmitz has been a really big target. Andrew Voorhees is a really good guard. Luke Whippler.
This is also one of the best interior offensive lineman classes we've had in a long time, right?
It really is. So it really, really is.
I would be completely okay by taking him. I think also linebacker wouldn't be a bad option. Is what's his name? Let's see. That's not
Campbell still on there. Sewell still on there.
Campbell's up there. He wouldn't be a bad pick.
No, not at all.
But I'd probably go with Michael Smith over him personally.
I would agree that. That is someone who I've taken in almost every mock draft.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Commanders, I've done other mock drafts just on the side. And whether he's a second round pick, third or fourth, you pick him up, he is great. So kind of seeing where everything falls. I just wanted to address the first round to see what happened. Hendon Hooker to the Jets in the third. That's big. That's massive. Tanks Bigsby to the Buccaneers. That's pretty good. Sewell to the Bengals. I like that. Alrighty. So we could go Whippler.
I like Whippler.
We like him, but we described his center. We could go guard and Voorhees. We could go linebacker. What are we thinking? There's linebackers.
I feel like underrated. I feel like
he's underrated.
Yeah.
Ventrell Miller and D Winters had pretty good Senior Bowls. I think they'll fall. I would pick them up in like the 4th if they fall, because we have a pretty higher 4th if I'm to be considered. We're sitting at 112. So do you want to go linebacker here? Do you want to go guard with Voorhees?
That just sort of depends where our 4th round is here.
The 4th round, we've got round 4, pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
What's our next pick at? That's 118? Okay.
12 and 118. So really, we have not a lot of surprises. I think so. We could go linebacker and go something else here. Do you want to go offensive line here? Because I think Voorhees will get picked up fairly soon.
I think Voorhees would be a good option. What is he projected at? Does it tell you? It should.
Right now he's at 101, so it's not going to be a far stretch because 101's right
in between our picks, right?
Yeah, he'd be
I'd take him. Yeah.
Voorhees. I would rather reach a little bit than kind of because if he didn't go, he'd probably go right in here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Linebacker goes there. So we go linebacker. And let's see who is eligible. So Toto is still there. Ventrell Miller would be a reach. D Winters would be a reach right here.
Yeah.
But pretty good linebackers all around.
Toto, I feel like we could probably get at 118, right?
I agree.
If we don't want to take him here.
All right.
Let's pull one thing up real quick. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're good. I'm about to say best available. You have tight end. You have you got a few tight ends. You can grab tight ends down the board. You could go corner again, go receiver.
So the main thing I've seen with Tuo's criticism is that he's slightly undersized, right?
Okay.
Compared to a linebacker, but that's always something that he could work on during the off season.
Yep.
I don't see it as a huge disadvantage.
No.
But then again, we can probably take him at 118. I don't know. What do you feel like doing?
I'm trying to see who. So receiver-wise, you have guys like Marvin Mims, Xavier Hutchinson's been pretty good. Dontavian Wicks out of Virginia has been a really good option for teams. To tight end, you have Ford, Stover, Wiley. But you have good tight end depth down here. Latu, Zach Coons at ODU's been really good.
Yeah.
Corner again, if you really wanted to, Helly's been pretty good.
I don't see a huge need to double up on corner.
Not right now, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You could go D-line and go someone like Byron, grab another Bama.
In case we wouldn't pick up Chase Young's 5th option or something like that. That's not
right.
Bad.
Right. Edge, you have, again, some decent edge, Ron Tier, KJ Henry, Colby Wooden, right there. If you wanted to go safety, is pretty good safety still around here, but that'd be a kind of a reach. You could trade 112.
Yeah, that's actually
Seattle and Indy look like good options. Seattle's at 122, and the Colts are at 140. I think Seattle would bring better help.
I'd be okay with trading it. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
So if we got 122 and the back half of the 6th.
Late pick, yeah.
Late pick. That's kind of the best we're going to get, 43%, 38%, or just, you got to get something out of it. And I think you just get a 7th. Kind of
like that,
7th round is just to grab a guy.
Since we have a pick at 6th later, 118.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens. Byron Young, there he goes. Edge. Yeah, your linebacker's still there.
Nice.
Toto's still there.
Yeah, I'd take him.
All right, let's grab linebacker. Let's grab Toa.
Awesome.
I like that. And right here at 122.
Awesome.
So we could go, like I said, we could trade if this we really wanted to.
We probably could.
Good. I don't think we should.
Did we take a tackle or a guard?
We have taken, if I can go, we've taken a center and a guard.
I would probably take a tackle would be my
offensive tackle.
Just get a really young offensive line projects. I don't see that being a bad option with Sam Howell hopefully coming in.
No, I don't either.
What are these guys projected at?
135. So a little bit of a reach.
Oh,
If you
Jalen Duncan. I watched like a quick YouTube video on him, and I liked what I saw, but obviously it might not have shown everything here. Let me pull up my report on him.
No, you're good. That's do your thing.
Jalen Duncan, long arms, great pass block on edge. Usually good balance, doesn't really overextend, wins leverage, and explodes off snap to create holes. But sometimes not quite physical enough, and footwork needs a little bit of work. That's what I have on him. Yeah, I'd probably go with Duncan. I feel like he could be a good option there. Obviously,
I like that.
I'm a Terps fan, so that helps me out a little bit.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with being a Terps fan. So Jalen Duncan, it is welcome to the Commanders. You don't got to go far. You don't got to go far.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we're seeing center to another receiver to Cincinnati's receiver to Chicago. Nothing big or over the top here. Trying to just safe trading underrated safety. I give him credit. All right, so we're saying that we got 152 and we got 155. So best available if we wanted to. Receiver, Torrance, but we got good safeties all around. You could double up on linebacker. We're thinking 3 offensive linemen, so we'll keep that in mind.
Right. Yeah.
You could go receiver here and get someone really good just to add to it. So if we want receiver, I mean Wicks, Ronnie Bell, Justin Shorter. Kind of up to you. Or if you want to go, let's say running back, you go. Tight end.
Oh yeah, we should.
Still got Wiley, Schumacher, lots of
Schumacher too.
Schumacher was good.
Yeah. This is where we could talk about that like fourth option wide receiver sort of thing. I wouldn't do it here, but obviously something they thought about is taking like a quarterback really late round. I'd do it later, but
do it later.
Consider in the next like 2 or 3 picks.
Okay.
I would personally go. I'd go with Michigan tight end, honestly.
Go tight end. I like that. So Luke Schumacher. I mean, so you still have Wiley out of Cincinnati. You still have Mallory out of Miami.
Yeah, they're not bad options either.
But you really like Schumacher?
I like him, but I also have nothing against Wiley and Mallory. Do you have a preference for them?
I haven't done much on Wiley. Schumacher. Obviously, if you watch Michigan games, he was in and out of there.
Of course.
But I like it. I really like it.
Yeah. All right,
let's go with it. And we're 155
back here.
So, like I said, we could go receiver. We could go halfback if you want to help build up.
Right.
Go double up on corners because LSU corners are pretty good.
Yeah.
Or you grab another quarterback here, just kind of filling out depth.
What's our next pick at?
193. So you got a little bit. I'd kind of go receiver if anything. You don't want to see who falls too far.
I like receiver too. Let's see who we have. We have Jarrett Wicks, Jones,
Ronnie Bell, Bobo, Thompson, Shorter, Higgins,
yeah. There's a lot of decent options for this late in the draft, I feel like.
There are. I feel like guys like Wicks are going to go a little bit later or a little bit earlier, but if he falls this far, I wouldn't be against it.
Wicks, I feel like, is pretty decent, right?
Yep.
I think that would not be a bad pick. Ronnie Bell also wouldn't be a bad pick.
Really good.
I don't really know a whole lot about Raheem Jarrett. I have not researched him very much, so.
Yep.
Okay. You want to take Wicks?
Hey, your mock draft.
All right, we'll do it.
Let's go. It's gone. Dontavian Wicks out of the University of Virginia. So let's see. Quarterback. Wait, let me see if I saw that right. Quarterback to the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, Brock Purdy did just tear his ACL, so – or no, not his ACL.
His UCL. That is true. So I don't hate it. Rashawn Torrance out of Florida to Seattle. I like that. The Giants grabbing Deuce Vaughn is interesting, and them grabbing Benjamin Miller. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Tackles, edges, receiver, of course. You always need receiver. Another linebacker to them. Good Lord. There goes Wiley. There goes Mallory. There goes
Yep.
Bell. All right, we're sitting here in 193. We could go edge if you wanted to help build up the edge. Give F.A. Obata as your backup. He was really good, but he'll hit free agency. You could draft Young. You could grab your quarterback here if you wanted to.
Got Hall.
Badgett, DTR, and Max Duggan.
I like DTR to an extent.
Yeah.
I like Hall to an extent as well. I don't really know much about Tyson Bagent. I know Duggan's, I feel like, okay, right? He wouldn't be like someone super exciting for me.
Probably not.
Hmm.
DTR I've grabbed a lot just because he's young, good arm. He's just back and forth.
The Lions,
Steelers, and Tampa.
Tampa is probably the only one that would consider taking him, right?
Probably.
So
you could grab him here at 197 if you wanted to.
Probably could take him 197. I would go with, who do we have at edge again? Cox Jr.? Yeah, I'd probably go with that.
Brennan Cox Jr. But I'm a Florida guy, so I like them. Linebacker, safety, tight end. Yeah, so all your quarterbacks. Who do you take?
I'd probably take Hall.
Jaron Hall, BYU. Grab us a
Mormon.
Mormon. I make jokes. I'm going to help with that one. Let's see. So we got another few picks, 219 or 215. Here goes D Winters.
Is this where you'd want to take like a kicker, you said?
Kicker, I mean, we could wait honestly till 235. I don't see us going. I don't see people grabbing.
Did we trade Joey? I can't remember.
We didn't trade Joey, but we'll probably cut him if anything.
So that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. We could take it here. We take it at 235.
We could probably take him at 235. I don't see any reason why we have to take it this high up.
Nope. So we could double up on corner, double up on linebacker. Up to you. What are you thinking?
I like where we're at with linebacker at the moment. If we just already got one, I'd say doubling up on corner would probably be my top option.
Double up on corner, I like that. So corners left. We got Louisville, West Kentucky, Northwestern, Kentucky, Oregon State. LSU corner is always pretty good. Louisiana Tech, UAB, San Jose State, Texas, and Southern Miss.
I don't know. I don't really know much about any of these guys, but LSU guy, you say they're usually pretty good. We could probably go with him.
LSU. Pat P. You have, Patrick Pearson's, they all, one of the better ones out there.
Sure.
Ward's out of LSU. LSU's got just pretty good all around guys. So I'm not. Yeah. If you want to go with it, it's up to you.
I'd probably debate between him and Clark.
Clark. Clark would be best available.
Right, he would be.
But if we're going best available, it's going to be tackles, tight ends, and receivers. Right. But Clark would be your best available corner.
I'd probably go with best available here and take Clark. Yeah,
I got you. I respect it. I understand it. And I would do the same thing.
I don't know enough about any of the guys to make a big decision to drop back or anything like that.
Right. Let's see, receiver, linebacker and here's our 7th rounder. So
nice.
I think it's time. Do you want to go kicker here?
We can. If we are going to cut him or something like that.
So I think Jake Moody was the best kicker out of the draft.
Yeah. I don't really know the other guys.
So just go Jake Moody.
Yeah, let's take Moody.
I like it, and that will end our mock draft. We'll kind of see who else falls through. TJ Baz to the Dolphins. You have, no one else I'm really familiar with out of these fullback. Well, it's kind of funny. So, and this will give us a grade for our draft too. Let's not forget that. So, let me download this first. Sure. So, Joey Porter Jr., 16th. We got a D+ for him. Don't know why we get a D+. B- for Schmitz and a B+ for Voorhees, so that's good. We obviously traded, we got a 4th for Leno. We probably would get less for Leno, but we got a 4th for him. So we got a C- for Toa, D+ for Duncan, which is real interesting.
Doesn't like Shoemaker.
Doesn't like him at all.
Nope.
and then a C for Wicks, a B- for Brent Cox. That's a good pickup. And then
Yeah.
C. So we got a C for this draft.
Okay.
So you grab offensive line help, you grab your corner of the future, you grab your linebacker, you grab a good tight end, you grab a receiver, edge for depth, quarterback for depth, cornerback, double up, and kicker for the future.
Obviously, Joey Porter Jr. is not my top option for corner. He's probably my third choice, but Witherspoon and Gonzalez both got taken. So
Yep. And if you go over this first round, Carter, Stroud, Murphy, Young, Wilson, Breeze.
above Young is a little bit interesting. In my
That's
opinion.
interesting.
Yeah.
Levi falling this far was all kind of interesting. Paris up. There goes Richardson.
Yep.
Anderson falling will not happen.
That was
Witherspoon,
weird.
Gonzalez, Luke Van Ness, this probably will not happen. I don't think that'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Skaronski, Dave Flowers is an interesting grab at your first receiver. Branch, Quentin Johnson, Michael Meyer, not a serial killer, but the tight end. Nolan Smith, Bijan Robinson, Najigba, Addison, Cam Smith, Broderick Jones is a good pickup, honestly. Harrison, Johnson, Ika, McGee, Torrance, and Simpson. So that is your first round.
All right.
I really like this mock draft. I don't think Voorhees will fall that low. I don't think Toto will fall that far, but you never know.
Yeah.
Cox might go in the fifth, but
wasn't 2020 projected at like 150 something?
he's rated 150 something, but there's a lot of teams who like Alabama defensive guys. And teams need linebackers more than ever.
Right?
For good reason, for very good reason.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I think Porter, he says at 26. We get him at 16. 53 for 47. So that's not a bad grab there. 101, 97, not a bad grab there.
Yeah.
Kind of big reaches, maybe at tight end a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Big reaches, maybe at like quarter, but these rounds here are just for depth and for curiosity. We took Derek Forth in like the fifth. We've taken guys in the sixth before, and they turned into gems.
I would have probably felt okay looking back on this taking Hall maybe one pick later.
Probably.
That's something to look at. Kickers unpredictable, right? We don't really know.
Kickers are unpredictable.
Yep. Clark doubling up on corner. I'm okay with that. Shoemaker again, a little bit of reach, yeah.
Wicks is
but I think he's again a more underrated player.
Yeah. If we got any of these two guys right here, I'd be happy with. But to get both of them, it's probably a stretch, but it's not the biggest stretch.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not the biggest one. We got 112, and then I think we used 112 to go back or something. Yeah. Yep, traded with Seattle.
Yep.
So I don't hate it. I think it's a really good draft.
Decent. Yeah.
It's pretty good. Definitely not as controversial as last episode, but it's definitely one for discussion. I think you trade, your guard and your tackle for a fifth and a fourth, but then you double up on center, and you got a guard there, takes care of Norwell. You got a tackle there, takes care of Leno, and you got a great center for the future.
Yeah.
So I really like it. I think it's going to be real interesting seeing what people think.
Cool.
But I think that just about does it. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to say?
Bieniemy or whatever, however you pronounce his last name. That's how I pronounce it.
Eric Bieniemy.
I seriously believe he could turn our franchise around.
Yes.
Right now, his two main options are Ravens and us, right?
Yep.
And I think that if we can convince him to come here, I think a part of that, I saw something about like how he might be able to take over head coach if Ron Rivera retires in the next year or two.
Yeah.
That's always an option to upgrade from here.
Always.
Just him being overshadowed by like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes wanting something new with our receivers, rookie quarterback. Obviously, Ravens are like the better franchise or whatever. And got Lamar Jackson, but they don't really have any receivers. They don't have as many young players or potential. We're due for the sale of a team, which sure can be a big change and all. but it's also exciting because there's going to be changes that come with that, positive or negative. We don't know right now. But Dan Snyder selling is, of course, a positive in my opinion. I see if he comes here and we have him and Zampese to mentor Howell, I seriously think that could change our entire team around.
Yep.
And how good we are going to be for the next couple of years. It's going to be really surprising what he can do for our team, I feel like.
I agree. I definitely agree. That's if Baltimore keeps Lamar. Are they going to pay him $200 million, or are they going to let him
just
walk?
Franchise tagged him. You don't know what that means. So
They did they, or are they going to? Because if they just did, that's massive.
I thought they did like a week or so ago, but
I think they might. I don't think if they actually franchise tagged him, that's going to be massive. Not just for him, but for guys like Burrow, Herbert, because
might have been something that they should do or something. I thought that they. Let me look.
I think it's something they should and might do, but franchise tag for him is like $25 million. Do they want to risk that off their cap?
Let's see.
I think if you want to pull that up, Pat Mahomes wins MVP. Dak wins Walter Payton Man of the Year, guys. If you didn't, see it tonight, you'll see it tomorrow. Hall of Fame class. I'll bring this up before we get out of here. Hall of Fame class for 23. Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Marcus Ware, Zach Thomas, Don Correll, Chuck Howley, Joe Klicko, and Ken Riley.
Mm-hmm.
London Fletcher should be in there. Fletcher should be in there, but
should be up there. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
They're treating him like they treated Drew Pearson, and it took him forever to get in.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's sad, but we know we love London Fletcher here. We support him. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But I think that's gonna wrap it up. Guys, don't forget to hit like and subscribe here on YouTube. Hit that little notification bell. Let you know every time we upload. We don't just upload here. Hit us up on Instagram at Ballin in Burgundy Podcast. We make posts about 2-3 times a week. Hit us over at TikTok. We had a TikTok hit over 1,000 views really within 24 hours. So it's working over there. Don't forget to follow all of us on Instagram. So myself at John.Pro_10, Justin at DC Commander DC_Justin. My boy Andrew here, commanders.news.network. He makes great stories. He's a great addition to this team already. I really appreciate you coming up on a Thursday night just to talk shop with me.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun. We'll definitely obviously, being part of this team, you're definitely going to be a familiar face to these guys. Awesome. Don't forget, guys, like I said, like and subscribe. Go ahead and share with us too. If you guys use any of these clip outs, don't forget to tag us. And anything else you want to
add? I think I'm good, but yeah, thank you again for having me. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Excited. Definitely, man. All right, guys, it's gonna wrap it up. Next week's episode is gonna be a little different. Hopefully, Justin will be on here so we get a three-way. If not, it'll be the two of us once again. Just stay tuned out for that. Follow us, like I said, on Instagram. We'll post clip out, post and trades. Just be interactive with you guys. We love the comment section. We love to interact with you guys. 85% of our viewers who watch us are not subscribed. So if you guys can seriously hit that subscribe button, it helps us out here so we get to get better content, more surprises, more guests, add to the team, whatever. It just helps us out a lot. The likes, the past few videos have gotten good on views. Just hit that subscribe button. But other than that, for you guys, stay balling. We'll see y'all out there.